Here we have another fly in our EP fiber series. This is the Tarantula Zonker. It's using a 1-inch Tarantula black. It's got a very similar body to a Mickey fin, but with the same old Zonker pattern on the back and a big bushy collar. To start this fly, like most streamers, we start with our lead wire. Wrapped up, we're using a 0.20 lead-free wire to add a little weight and a little movement to the streamer. You want nice tight wraps about halfway up the hook shank, and then we're going to be moving that behind the cone. And to lock it in, some Zappa Gap and a nice thread dam. And then once you get a nice dam built up and the wire locked in, we're going to be moving the thread back right before the bend of the hook. And try to get a nice smooth taper here. For when we tie our materials, we can get a nice smooth, even body. And for this, we're going to be using about a 4-inch piece of tinsel here. The tinsel is gold on one side and silver on the other. We're going to be using the silver side. So we'll be tying in at an angle, had the silver side pointed outwards. And if you tie in and keep this angle, it'll make it a lot easier to start your initial wraps. Next, we'll be adding some ultra wire. It's best if you can tie the wire and the tinsel in on both sides of the hook shank, kind of even out the body. It always helps to put a half-inch in to kind of lock everything down before you start rolling here. Now, it's not a necessity to have a rotary vise, but it sure makes this a whole lot easier. But rather than fumbling with your hands trying to wrap the tinsel, you can keep it locked in one place and let the vise do the work for you. And make sure you get this locked in very good because the tinsel is under a lot of pressure. And if it's not locked in properly, you can unravel very quickly. And throw in 1/2 inch for good measure. And when you're trying to measure your rabbit strips, make sure you wet the fibers a little bit. This helps you get down to the hide, and it also helps you manipulate where you're placing things as well. If you have a pair of hackle pliers, it's always nice to grab onto tinsel or wire, a little less slippery, and you can control your wraps a little bit better. It's always handy to have a pair of wire cutters around if you've got them. Otherwise, a really dull pair of scissors that you don't care about too much to cut that wire. Please don't use any of your sharp tine scissors to cut wire. Make sure you get a nice base here and everything's locked in and tied in. And when you're cutting tails on rabbit strips, make sure you account for the longer fibers as well. The fibers will lay on quite a bit longer than where you cut the hide. When wrapping the brush, make sure you're pulling back the fibers on each wrap so that nothing's getting stuck underneath itself. And then you can tie it in and snip off the wire. And then finish off the fly by doing a couple of nice whip finishes, just to make sure everything's locked in there. The last step is get out your brush and just kind of work on those fibers to make sure nothing's stuck, everything's out. And then always check your back wire to make sure you didn't catch any rabbit fur under that. And there you have it, the Tarantula Zonker.